4, 3, 2. We've got ignition. 1. We've got RIP takeoff. Welcome to another edition of Mouthpiece Included. We're going to be talking politics out here. Today we're chopping up weekly hot sports topics. In addition, we're going to close out at the intersection of black culture and lacrosse. We're going to go ahead and explore the history of lacrosse and its roots. Kunta Kinte, Toby, Kunta, and his roots in Native American culture, as well as the contributions of melanated athletes such as the late, great R.I.P. Jim Brown to the sport. We're also going to discuss challenges faced by melanated players in this predominantly white sport and how they have overcome. Stand by, pull up, as we look to dive into the fascinating world of lacrosse and its impact on melanated culture. Links pinned in the chat. All are welcome to pull up, slide through. But if you do pull up, don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. Yeah. All right, and please take this time to share this link out there. We got some bills to pay, and Mouthpiece Included will be starting Most Ricky Tick in less than one proverbial minute. Next week on Mouthpiece Included, we're going to be covering blacks in lacrosse.
All right.
Blacks in lacrosse.
Let's talk about
Find out who they are. Yeah, we're going to talk about it and see if we can find ways to get our kids some more education.
Yeah.
Let's start a lacrosse Negro leagues.
Yeah.
Negro. Why not?
Matter of fact, Northwestern is University. The women's team is in the lacrosse finals this weekend.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, but all those kids everybody on the team is non-melanated, and they're all there at Northwestern for free.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is very correct. And don't forget
it, baby.
And don't forget to bring your mouthpiece.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe. Let's get this link out there to the world.
Who are the guys that are the best in the world and make the rest of the team look like a gaggle of girls?
Okay, I'm in my local Ralph's, and this happened.
I don't go to church, and I know God understands. I can
Man, where do they keep the honey around here? Excuse me, you know where the honey is?
Who are the guys that are the best in the world and make the rest of the team look like a gaggle of
Cheese
girls?
Al. Who wants cheese head?
I don't go to church, and I know God understands. I can stay on my couch because God is a fan of the Bears.
Who are the guys that are the best in the world and make the rest of the team look like a gaggle of girls? The Bears!
I don't go to church, and I know God understands. I can stay on my couch because God is a fan of the Bears.
Who are the guys that are the best in the world and make the rest of the team look like a...
Well, guys, let's go to the swimming pool. Let's go take a shower. Let's go water skiing.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
There he is.
Be sure to bring a towel so you don't get all
Don't forget
wet.
to bring your mouthpiece. Be sure to bring your mouthpiece, or you get all wet. Yeah. These silverbacks are black. So, yeah, y'all know the format. We're gonna run through some baseball, some NBA, beat, bear down, FGB. We got our weekly hot topics. Don't know if we picked a burger of the week. I sure haven't picked any. And today's topic is Melanated Lacrosse. Where we at? Pull up. The link is pinned in the chat. You can also call in or text 424-900-6945. That's a secure line and it's troll free. And yeah, and while you're at it, smash that like button. All right, let's go ahead and get our resident Jackie Robinson's finest co-host in the building, Big Ace. Big Ace is in
TATN.
the house.
Mouthpiece included.
What's good there, fella? Did we have any RIPs? Was it Tina Turner, I think, since?
Yeah, it's all kind of RIPs, you know, here in the city of Chicago, unfortunately. And unfortunately, it's a bunch of children. But no celebrities of note, you know, I would assume. But
I guess we say, get well, Jamie Foxx. Fox is in your backyard, rehabbing. Yeah.
Whatever happened to him, allegedly.
Yeah. Nobody's talking.
I don't know what the secret is. I mean, you know, you want us to pray for him and, you know, wish him well and tell us he's in Chicago, but we don't even know what the hell happened to him.
Yeah, I heard, I don't know if it's rumor, but they said he's lost sight in one eye and his mobility, you know, he don't have all his mobility out there. Sounds like it was a stroke or something out there, but, you know, like you said, it's all speculating. Right. So we haven't heard from any doctors or any. You know, I respect their rights to privacy, though.
Yeah, HIPAA.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, I mean, wish him well, whatever's going on with them. You know, it's got to be something major if he's giving up his work at, what's the show, Shazam, to Nick Cannon and other paying gigs. So get better, Fox.
Nick Cannon, the Agzanaki Jew hater?
Yeah, he's on Shazam. He's on Shazam. He's trying to, hey, you know, he's knocking out jobs, you know, trying to, you know, hopefully he's just trying to help Fox while he's, you know, getting better. Or you know, we don't know the extent of his injuries or diagnosis of what's going on with him. So maybe, you know, maybe it'd be a permanent switch for the Shazam show. Good luck to you, Fox. Hopefully this Midwest weather and doctors and treatment will get you back to running, jumping, screaming, kicking.
Now, I think they said Fox was working on playing Mike Tyson in the movie. Boy, that would have been dope. I don't know if he got to shoot it or what, but he would have murked that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, he's very skillful, and you know, he looks similar to Mike, and I'm sure with a little prosthetics and makeup, he looked exactly like him, just like they did the Ray Charles biopic. You know? Yeah,
and then, you know, Jamie's good with those, you know, doing those imitations and stuff. That
yeah, it would have been the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah, you remember he played the Jew on the sideline with Ali. He killed that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's
remember he played the black. I don't say black Jew. That's an oxymoron.
Mundini. The Black Manini. Yeah.
Can we say Jew on TATN? I mean, I don't even know if we can say it.
Yeah, he said, well, you know, the movie said Ali wanted to turn Muslim, but he couldn't give up the pork and the white women.
That's funny. I must have. No, you can say that. I must have got that. I remember that line. I mentioned it. In a book I'm working on, and not in those words, but now I see where it was programmed at. All right, let's hop into it. Melanated lacrosse colors. Where we at? We're going to run down some weekly political hot topics. You guys are welcome to pull up. The link is pinned in the chat. You can also call in 424-900-6945. Do smash the like button. Hey, I guess I owe the Chicago White Sox an apology. Not that they don't suck, but I'm not eating crow. But, you know, they're every bit as good as my Cubs. That's the way it looks. And the Sox just swept a series. So big ups, huh?
Gets day 12. They beat a team that stinks worse than them. All right, that's great. Let's start beating some winning teams. But yeah, I mean, you can only play who's on the schedule. You know, that's what they say.
Yeah, as of today, they're both 5.5 games out of first. I mean, well under 500, but hey, you mess around, win a division.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Sox, the AL Central, I think NL Central, they're both winnable divisions. You just got to go on a run.
Have some talent.
Yeah, almost definitely. Got to hit the ball. Got to have some decent pitching, and we got a closer back from the cancer ward, and he's cancer free now, Liam Hendricks. So you know the Sox are the stick is pointing up. We're going way up.
Yeah.
So did I say by All-Star break they'll be leading the division?
You can say it, but you could say whatever. You could say whatever. You know what I mean? You know. But
we'll have meaningful baseball in Chicago by the time the Crosstown Classic comes about.
I tell you what, if the Sox are leading the division, I'll come out and eat crow here on international YouTube TV.
You heard it. You heard it here.
Yeah, I will eat crow if that happens, but you know, it's not going to happen. So, Melanated Lacrosse, where we at? We're going to hit these hot topics. We don't do quarter black of the week, but I do want to have one this week, and it's just in time.
Okay. Let me hear it.
Well, I mean, you know, we'll get there when we cover the Bears, but Flus.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Flus said he's the hardest worker out there.
All right.
Yeah.
They had Sideshow Bob playing some softball game in Kansas City somewhere and marveling at his ability to hit a softball.
Well, his dad was a Major League Baseball player, wasn't he?
Throw a softball. Yeah, but they was like he could have went professional in softball as well.
He definitely could have went baseball. He could have gone to the farm system. He played baseball all through college.
Yeah, he could, the Cubs and the White Sox would have overlooked him in the draft.
The Cubs definitely would have overlooked him.
Yeah. So he
would
have been overlooked by the Cubs, the Bears, and the White Sox.
Yeah. All right. So that's quarter black of the week. But let's jump to the Bulls. I was discussing this with you. Zach LeBedrest is apparently unhappy that his name has been floating in the toilet like poop. Well, floating in trade rumors, and you know we've said on here we've been trying to trade him for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
he feels his quote loyalty end quote to the Bulls is being unappreciated, allegedly.
What loyalty did you have to the Bulls last year when you were becoming a free agent? You wanted to get courted through free agency.
You wanted to be a little free agent slut.
Yeah, a little slut. Come on, man. Let me tickle your fancy in my city until you figure out what you want to do. And you want to be courted and flirted with until you get hurt and realize you didn't have any value and only the.
And I can respect people looking for their money, but we were offering him max money, and he still wanted to be courted.
Oh yeah. Now what loyalty was that? All they had to do was sign the damn deal. As heard here on Mouthpiece included by 9 Milz, they should have took that damn contract off the table and let them go out there and get courted and see how much money they're
off the table. We got you a job at Amazon, the packing center, way out in the south suburbs.
right.
You can do that. We don't want you.
Yeah, you can work from 11 to 7. Matter of fact, we'll make you a supervisor.
Yeah, well, we'll work you towards a supervisor because you're probably not going to show up to work.
You're going to be hurt. It's going to be sick the second week of work.
But in seriousness, Levine, the Bulls were patient with him, through all of his, like you said, his injuries and everything, and resting him and making sure he was rested for God knows what. But if these allegations are true, once again, this is another feather in my cap to trade him. I don't want him in my culture. First of all, he's high yellow. I think he's some sort of ginger. You got high yellow, and then you got albino out there. And big ups to all the albinos out there. You got vertipalago. Yeah. I mean, if you can get put a deal together, I'd have him on the first thing smoking. Just like if we could have ever got that ball kid healthy enough to play another week, I'd have put him on the first thing smoking. But it looks like that's not going to happen. Did the NBA change their rules? I was watching a great documentary on NBA TV about the answer, AI. And they were talking about Ratliff, Big Theo. He had got hurt. And then they traded him for they traded him for no. And he was hurt. He was hurt during the trade. So did they change the rule where you can't trade hurt players anymore? Because,
I think it's something we got to look up. I mean, but
his foot was broke and they traded him.
They also have insurance on these guys if they sign them to those big deals and they can't play. So I don't know if the Bulls are just not affected because the insurance is covering his contract, or they have changed the rules to where they can't trade a injured player.
Yeah, I don't think you could trade an injured player anymore
for another player now, especially one making that much damn money. So it's something we're gonna have to look up.
I have no idea why you can't trade injured players. I mean, it makes no sense to me. It's something the players union probably came up with.
Yeah.
If I'm a team and I want to take Lonzo Ball off your hands, let me take Lonzo Ball off your hands. I'll send you some peanuts. I'll send you, a bag, a couple pounds of peanuts, unsalted.
Yeah. I mean, we used to, they used to trade players, but now everything is dependent upon the physical. And,
right.
So, we can't pass the physical.
The slave physical?
Yeah,
Think guys want to touch a bum and
touch your
thighs.
Bum and your big thighs and make sure, that, everything that they heard is correct. So, so since you can't pass that test to be a Mandingo warrior, I think they changed the rules to where you can't make a deal because they're making too much money now.
Yeah, but he's not losing any money. I mean, again, if the other team wants to take that risk, this is America. The last time I checked, They should be able to say, hey, we spoke to all the doctors. The guy has a broken foot. We expect him back in 4 months. We're okay with that. And here's your bag of popcorn. And he may never come back. We're okay with that. Here's your bag of Garrett's popcorn. Send Lonzo Ball over here.
We'll have to investigate that.
Now, if the player has a no trade clause when I'm injured, that's something totally different.
If a team is willing to take on Alonzo Ball, knowing that he's never going to play again, damn it, I'm gonna put him on the first thing smoking. I'd trade him and Zach LaVine for whatever damn expiring contracts I can get from another team. Absolutely. So yeah.
All right, let's hop to the finals because the game one. Now they had a game 2 yesterday. Mouse in the house. Gordon was yamming on everybody in game 1. It was a 3-point fest. Guys were laying bricks all over the place.
That's basketball, baby.
Yeah, that's basketball. Anything you saw, and here's one thing I do want to say before I throw it to you. You know, the guy from the shithole country, Jokic.
The Joker, yeah.
I've been watching him in this high quality basketball he's playing. I've had the pleasure, and I've said on this show, you know, I'd take him on my squad. But at the same time, bro, the announcers are disingenuous because I see where he's hurting them on the defensive end. I see it. Mm-hmm. And nobody talks about it. No one even mentions on the pick and roll when he's standing 8 feet away from his player and they're getting whatever they want. Bam Adebayo, my brother even said it, is looking like Wilt wrestler. So he's looking like Wilt Chamberlain out there.
Well, it's Euro basketball. The Euro basketball that A-rated player doesn't have to play defense and doesn't even ever have to learn how to play defense as long as he does what he needs to do on the offensive end.
So when they're working on defense, he's over there smoking cigarettes like Vlade Divac.
Yeah, smoking the Jarms, the clove cigarettes. Not
speaking some shithole language.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what he's talking about.
This old style beer. Yeah, we don't have this in my country. This is great.
Yeah, but I mean, Ace, what I'm doing, whoever the Joker is guarding,
mm-hmm.
This man is setting a screen for Jimmy Butler every time we come up to court. And if they want to switch, I have Jimmy Butler on Jokic on Jimmy Butler. And you got to go at him, get him in foul trouble, make mentally him giving up basket after basket, same way it affects Steph Curry. It affects them on the other end of the court, bro.
Absolutely. So even though he scored 40 plus yesterday, I mean, he was down to 4 assists instead of going after them with this triple double because he's caught up in that pick and roll, and eventually he's gonna get tired, especially coming from the shithole country.
Yeah, he had some turnovers. Yep, I love the way they defended him. I mean, you'd hate to. Normally, you say don't let the best guy beat you with points, right. But you can't let him be out there getting whatever he wants. Yeah, it takes the team out the rhythm if they can't get those easy buckets off from him.
Right, and those instead of him averaging a triple damn double, he's averaging a single double, and I think the Heat are okay with that. As long as they win the game, and Spoelstra's going to make adjustments. He's going to make adjustments defensively to give his team to win. His team a chance to win. It's a matter of them executing. Like before we got to the finals, what the hell was the Boston Celtics doing in the Eastern Conference Finals? Chucking up all those damn 3-pointers at home with a chance to go to the championship. But anyway,
well, that's how they played all year. I'm just playing devil's advocate. They all come out and say, you have these bums. Shooters keep shooting. No, you don't, you bum. Steve Kerr wasn't taking 15 threes a game, you bum.
Yeah.
Just because you're open doesn't mean it's good that you shoot it.
Yeah.
Not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't shoot.
Even if you can shoot, I don't want you shooting. I'm gonna get the ball to LeBron. I'm gonna get the ball in my best player's hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if it's late in the shot clock, fine, take the shot.
Right.
These guys go 0 for 10 and come out the next day. Yeah, I'm gonna keep shooting. No, you're not. You're bum. You're on the bench today. Probably won't even be in the rotation.
Yeah, you're off the team. Matter of fact, but you know, if I got a chance to get to the championship, I'm playing in a game 7, especially coming back 3 games down. You know, I got to play it close to the vest and give my team the best chance to win. And shooting 30, 43 pointers, I don't believe, is giving my team the best chance to win in the Eastern Conference Finals. So that's on that.
I mean, the game's been. Hey, so when we played intramurals, or whatever league we was in,
yeah,
our analysis of the games we lost wasn't constantly, we just got to make all those shots we missed. Mm-hmm. There was so much more details going into why we lost. You know, this guy's got to play better defense. You know, we needed to rebound. But they all come out and say, it's a make or miss league. We just got to make shots. No.
Well, that's
like y'all lose a game at Jackie Robinson and you're like, we just got to hit the ball better. I mean,
no. There's points. There's reasons or ways to win a game. So if it's fundamentally defense, pitching, and hitting the ball, you can't just say hitting the ball is going to win a game for you when you had 5, 6 errors. Yeah. So
that's exactly my point, bro. That's exactly my point. There's so much more into a ball game, whatever sport it is, then we just got to play offense better. There's a reason you're missing those shots. How about, you know, we've got to shoot less 3-pointers when we're throwing up bricks like that, and then get the ball inside when we have these little 6-foot guards on 7-footers all day and just pound it inside and let these guys drop, step, and dunk on them time and time again. How about that? We never hear that.
Pound them and bang. Well, you know, because, you know, everybody's going with the analytics. This 3-point shot, analytically, percentage-wise and point-wise is better than you shooting a 5-foot 2-point shot. You know, that's almost 90% going in versus shooting 30% or 25% or whatever the hell this player you're shooting for as a team from the 3-point line. I mean, I don't get it. I understand it's the Euro game, and the Euro game is taking over, and there's no centers, and everybody's a stretch everything. But you know,
it's pink stink. I said it. They're just devaluing the athleticism necessary for the game so that they can justify having guys who smoke cigarettes at halftime be the so-called best player in the league. Coach Moultrie says Miami ain't no fluke at this points. The Joker's team is only 4-4 when he scores 35 or more in the playoffs. Let him shoot. They didn't double team him as much last game. Make only him beat you. Yeah, I mean, why not?
Right. I mean, if that's the strategy, if he can't get off with the rebounds and assists, and it bothers the team flow, whatever it takes to win.
Yeah, Ace, you know, I had a nice jump shot, but if you're gonna double team me every time, man, there's Ace. There's self-love. There's Ant. Keep it coming. I'll take these 10 assists and no points. I have no problem with it. Right. You know, ball's going through the bucket. Doesn't matter if I put it in the bucket. Big ups, brother Wordsmith. He laughs. I think he may be laughing at Fox USA Knows. I think he may have laughed at that, but I'm not.
I'm sure that's what he's laughing at. You son of a monkey.
All right. So they came out and won game 2. Miami did. We didn't get our predictions in. We're already 2 games in.
Who
Who you got winning this series and how many games?
Who cares? I picked Boston or what's the other team? G State. So who cares who wins this series? I'm going with
what's your prediction on this series, there, fella?
this series. Is going 7. I'm going with Jimmy Butler to win it all. The Bulls didn't want him, so let's get it going. Jimmy
Well, I'll
Butler
tell you
on
what.
7.
I've picked against Miami every series, and they've proven me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stick with my prediction I made in a private line with my brother.
All right.
I'm going Joker in 5 because the NBA wants that.
You kidding me?
Although I saw a lot of shit calls. Man, Miami, man, talk about flopping. We're going to get there. Man, I'm so sick of this flopping, bro. I'm just so sick of this flopping in the NBA, man. I'm just.
That's how they chicks dig to the flopping.
Yeah, they do.
Flop.
Yeah, they do. It's a French word, flop, for soft. Now, but the commissioner's come out and says he has more evidence on NBA Dumbboy, that thug, Second Amendment flexing grown man who acts like a pookie.
Yeah.
But they said they got more evidence on him. And first of all,
of course they got evidence on him. It's the NBA.
Are they trying to get him arrested? but we can't speculate on this other evidence because all the other evidence that we've talked about on this show, I'm sure the NBA already knew of, but apparently they're talking about other evidence. But what would your punishment be, Ace? I'm not saying, first I'm going to have you predict Silver's punishment, and then after you predict what you think Silver's is going to do, what would you do if you're the commissioner and you're some sort of melanated and you got this wannabe pookie out there living a thug life?
As far as Silverman's concerned, as far as the sponsors and political correctness, maybe even Memphis is concerned, I believe that they'll have him out till Christmas. Here's a Christmas present. You get to come back and work on the plantation. Work on the for the NBA to the best of your ability. So I believe that the NBA will keep him out to Christmas. What my personal punishment for this kid would be is probably they gave him 8 games for his first offense. I'd double it, give him 16.
And then he lied to the Azahnaki Jews' face, and they don't lie.
Yeah.
They don't lie. He lied to me.
I just double the penalty. I give him 16 games. And they talked about all this rehab and training he had to do and affiliation. When I would put him out there in the community, make him do some work, some real work.
You mean more jiggy dancing, more critty dancing, and dancing on pink kids? You'd have them doing that.
You got to find them, and instead of the NBA taking those funds in, send them to some community centers in Memphis, and where kids aren't going to see them ever, and have them work with those kids.
Can you put them in a Scared Straight program? In other words, he checks into Cook County Jail for a week, but he gets to leave to practice basketball, but he's on the courts in the O Block. So he's living on O Block, and then he's living in the county, but then during the day he gets to check out and go hoop in the community. Yeah. No? Well, here's what
obviously he's too stupid to make it through that. So no.
Well, here's what I would do. In all seriousness, first of all, I think the commissioner is going to lay down the hammer.
Of course he is.
I think he's getting a minimum of 35 games. Now, they're going to do him like Ronnie Artest. But, I don't know what this other evidence is. I thought it was very Bush League for them to talk about this other evidence and then say, but we're not going to talk about it until after the finals. Right. You know what I mean? You got everybody, speculating. What my punishment would be, Ace, I wouldn't punish him at all. My only punishment is, the league's butthurt because they wanted him to be the face of the league. Obviously, he's the butt of the league, so that's fine. Just don't make him the face of the league. And if these corporations are going to cancel their contracts with him, he's going to lose that money. He shouldn't be losing any other money, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'd give him a slap on the wrist. Stephen A. Smith came out there, Ace, and said that the commissioner is allegedly concerned if Ja Morant will even be alive in 5 years. Do they care about Ja Morant being alive? Do they care about any of the other Pookies you were just talking about who are being slaughtered all over the country? And to single out Ja, do they care about Black life?
Absolutely not. What did Kanye say? I don't think George Bush cares about Black people. But
and I don't think Adam Silver does either.
Yeah, you got all of the they had the propaganda of the George Floyd mission after the death of that young man, and Minneapolis. I guess that's all over. There's still no racial problems are over in the NBA and the world because now it's back to business as usual. As far as Ja Morant is concerned, it's hard to fathom that they're really concerned about him showing guns or waving guns when NBA players have done it before and have been lauded for their gun collections or having these these weapons. They're just trying to treat him as a young Pookie. They're trying to get into his bag as far as the next contract that I'm concerned.
No, correct. And I'm going to clear the chat in a second. Correct, Ace. And I'm glad you said that because they're saying things like, what if the gun would have gone off? Maybe. I haven't heard once from the NBA saying things which you're hearing from our community. It's a bad look, it's sending a bad message to all these young kids in our communities, having this guy. It'd be like Michael Jordan,
right.
Holding straps, and saying that people are dying, because of this.
Right.
And that's our message, but, I just don't think they care. I just don't think they care. Coach Moultrie said, go ahead, bro.
I mean, you're looking at the top 1% of earners in this country. I believe a large percentage of them are members of the NRA. So what concern would they have with Ja Morant yielding the gun either at a nightclub or riding around in the car with his friends?
Riding through traffic.
Yeah, absolutely none.
I mean, we're not going to say Coach Moultrie rides around in traffic with his gun out.
No.
Should they take his contracts and tell him it's a bad look for the city?
Right. No.
And who knows what kind of threats that Ja is getting. Maybe he's doing it for self-defense. We don't know. But Coach Moultrie says when they double team Milz, there's Coach wide open. No, I'd force my shot up before I gave the ball to you, Coach. Yeah, you wouldn't get the ball in that rotation. I'd actually wave you down and have somebody else pop up and take that. You need to set screens and get out of the way.
And go back on defense.
Yeah. He said, got this. Oh, that's something else. All right. Torrey said they're going to suspend him. How long? And then he said liar. I don't know what he's referring to there. And he said, Pookie, a young kid from a 3K town. He young, he will be fine. What's a 3K? What's a 3K town? KKK. Yeah, I think he's talking about Triple K.
He's a young kid from 3K.
So he's from
So why would he be fine? Because he's from 3K town. that means they don't like him. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's why his mind is messed up.
Yeah.
All Melanated Lacrosse, where we at? Plus, we're going to have weekly hot topics that you guys are welcome to pull up. The link's pinned in the chat. You can call in or text your concerns at 424-900-6945. Smash that like. Let's jump to NFLB, FGB Bears. And as I mentioned, Flus, and we don't know what's in his heart. I'll tell you what, if I was getting coached, I don't want to say it, but I don't like what I think is in Flus's heart. And I know you guys want to give him a chance, but he's got a dog whistle so far up his ass. But hey, so did Ditka. Right? Yeah. But Flus said just in time is the hardest worker at camp. And I've heard this about him everywhere he's been. Used to hear that talk about Walker Payton, Jerry Rice, Hall of Famers. Used to hear that talk about Michael Jeffrey Jordan, first to practice, last to leave. Mm-hmm. And we've consistently heard this about Justin Time throughout his career.
All right.
What does that say about this man's character?
I mean, he's high in character. Even when the new president of the team was coming in just to view the facilities, he was at the weight room. Now, I don't doubt that there's a lot of other players that are getting in their weight routine daily at Hallis Hall, because that's what you need to stay on the team, for one, and to succeed. But if you have your quarterback leading by example, working every day, working hard every day, getting his degree.
He's at OTAs, and Rodgers ain't, which we'll talk about. Now everybody in the country is caught up to us. He's talking about Rodgers needs to be at camp. Oh, they didn't say it last year, but go ahead. He's at OTAs.
He was fine being in the cave, tickling his bum and being in darkness. But now he needs to be at camp to learn a new system, I guess. He's still going to be a great quarterback with middle of the road numbers. So the Jets will have what they'll have for a couple of years, and you'll go from there. But back to Justin Time. The kid, you've seen in the off season, he's been at OTAs. He's been working with his receivers when he could. He's been out to Bulls game, Sox game.
They said he's studying his own tape, and he's studying other great quarterbacks' tape. Yeah.
So if your quarterback, which you're investing, you've invested this offseason in, through the offensive line, allegedly, and skill players to improve, then that just puts you in a position next year when the Bears go back to New Orleans for the NFL goes back to New Orleans for the Super Bowl, that the Bears will be representing the NFC and winning that chip next year. So.
Yeah, and they're marveling. Of course, they're all in shorts, and everybody's a NFL Hall of Famer and OTAs. But
is Tristan Ebner still there?
They're marveling at DJ Moore's instant chemistry with this kid. But I think it has to do with the fact that DJ Moore just knows how to play football. He's caught balls from shithole quarterbacks his whole career and has been one of the top leaders in the league.
Right. Now you got an elite quarterback, and you're an elite receiver, and you could be running around wide open out there with those guys. You got fast slots and Mooney and the guy they just picked up in the draft. You got two tight ends running around there that are available to catch passes, and you're running back by committee. Hey, it's a good situation. So I think he's just looking to take advantage of the situation that he's in with the Chicago Bears.
Ace, they said our new middle linebacker has been shining. He's at OTAs, the high-priced free agent. Yeah.
He's a big.
They said he's been balling, bro. I'm excited about that. You can't have Bear football without MLB.
Tremaine Edwards, baby. Yeah. And his ability to shine is going to help the other guy that we got from Philadelphia, who had 140 damn tackles for the Super Bowl running up Eagles last year. So And you can still stick in your guy, undrafted free. What's your guy's name?
Yeah, the pink guy. I was just trying to think of his name before you said that.
You can stick him in there and run him around, but Tremaine Edwards, man, he's tall, he's fast, and he knows
and smart.
Yeah,
they said he's processing.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on, man, the kid's a beast. So we going back to having a great middle linebacker in Chicago. You can stick these other guys around the sides of him, and let's play some football. Now you got this secondary shirt up with Jalen Johnson, Davison, the kid they got out of Miami. It's gonna be tough to get the ball between the secondary and into the middle of the field against the Bears. So you're basically going to be forced to attack them with 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and that's not going to work for you in December in Soldiers Field. So let's go Bears.
Bear down. Paul said he's looking to bring in a couple more DEs, but our free agent guard, who you just mentioned, the All-Pro, he skips OTAs. You got any concern about that, Ace? Colored guy, he should be in there processing. How's he going to learn those plays, the NFL playbook, without that pink man showing him where he should be and everything?
Nate Davis, he might have
voluntary OTAs.
Yeah, he might have some family issues, or he might want to come here and find him a crib, get his family settled. Get some barbecue, or go to Taylor Swift concert. Who the hell knows? But as long as he shows up for OTAs,
right?
Ready to go. What difference does? Yeah,
as long as he's there for his mandatory. Sanborn, coach said Sanborn. Yes. Yeah, big ups for that. And Moultrie said town of 3,000 people. I guess he didn't mean 3K. He's saying town of 3K people. I mean, his clarification, I'm assuming he means 3,000 people in the town. So somehow that'll make him okay. You go to Robbins, Illinois, they don't have many people, but I guarantee you can get pistol whipped out there, coach. You can get pistol whipped.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pistol whipped animated.
Yeah, yes, you can.
MDK, murder, death, killed out there.
Yes, you can. He's got the Bears at 7-10 this season. I think Ace had him at 14-3.
Bear down.
I was at 9-8. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. Rogers, we talked about it. Skips OTAs. My interesting thing about this is he said, I've won MVPs and not going to OTAs. Yeah, I mean, smug son. Who talks about MVPs they won besides the big colored guy from Africa on Philly? I mean, who talks about MVPs and you ain't winning nothing?
Dude, you got one Super Bowl, and you probably shouldn't have won that if the Bears was on there doing what they were supposed to do that year. I don't know. You're in the twilight of your career. You're with the new team, new receivers, new offense. I guess he's building in his excuse for why the Jets are going to start slow. That I was processing my move and moving my dogs to New York and whatever the hell, getting my new girlfriend and finding a new $20 million condo and apartment, what they call it in New York. So I didn't have time to go to OTA. The OTA
voluntary workouts. Yeah, well, and for anybody who's saying, well, for the melanated player, they just made an excuse and said it's okay to do the same thing. Well, this guy's at the helm. And we talked about it last year when we did a show on it about how Brady and this other guy, Smug Rogers, were getting a pass for not going to these volunteers. You lead from the front, Justin Time is there, these guys need you there for your energy and your leadership.
Absolutely.
You know, Rodgers is going to a whole new team. You know, he needs to create some chemistry with these receivers. They want to get to know him.
Yeah,
and he's not there, bro.
He just figures that, you know, they learn the playbook. They learn where they're supposed to be. He'll get the ball there, and that's that.
Uh-huh. But he doesn't care about, you know, the benefits of galvanizing the guys around him. He just could care less.
I mean, you know, he's going on 40, and these guys are in their 20s. What are they going to talk about? So he's like, yeah, I'll just show up, make sure you're at where you're supposed to be, and we'll go from there. Other than that, I don't give a damn. I'm smug Rodgers.
All right, yeah. FGB. Melanated Lacrosse colors, where we at? We're covering weekly hot sports topics right now. You guys are more than welcome to pull up. The link is pinned in the chat. You can call or text 424-900-6945 and smash. Oh, we got some pullage uppage and smash that like button. We've got some pullage uppage out there.
Love it.
All right. Well, let's the next topic, and we're going to see what he has to say. Some topic shimmered his timbers. But Shannon, Skip, you go Skip. We're going to skip. Shannon gets freedom from Master Skip. Yeah, he gets freedom from Master Skip. Fox allegedly having issues finding a replacement for Booger Shannon, for Skip to put the cables to. What's your comments on Shannon finally being free from the Fox plantation? Big ups, small ups to Fox.
Yep, I told you, you're not gonna honor me as a Hall of Fame player, and you're gonna honor this man. Skip, I'm gone, and that's all it's gonna be, Skip. And God bless you and your family, Skip. But I can't do this no more. So, Shannon, he was establishing his podcast, and I'm sure he's getting another contract for another show. So,
well, I think it was over after Skip told him to put your glasses back on and sit back down before I slap them off your face, you big dumb mooly. Yeah, something to that effect. Diesel, what's up, bro? Now I know something must have grinded your gears that we said. He just got pulled up. What's on your mind before we get back on topic here, there, fella?
No, I seen y'all was live. I said, let me get in here real quick. I got some time. Let me jump in here while y'all live.
That's what's up.
All right, yeah. Welcome aboard. So yeah, what you got to say about this Shannon and Skip thing, and the fact that allegedly, Skip, you can call me, Skip. You can call me and I'll sit next to you. I'll sit across from you and debate these topics. Oh yeah, you can call me. But what's your take on this, Diesel?
Well, man, I feel that you know what, I understand why he didn't go into that show with enough leverage, because I guess even though he was doing takes and different things, guest appearing on First Take, like a lot of the other people in different sports do. He would come in there from time to time, debating, and that's how Skip seen him working and decided, hey, I want this guy, because the execs at Fox didn't want Shannon. Skip told him, no, I want him.
I like him.
Really? He did the same thing for Stephen A. Booger. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they tried to I guess, like, hit back, like, no, we want a person, somebody like a journalist type of dude. And he said, no, I seen him work. This is the guy he wanted. Now, with that, though, I think came part of the problem is that Shannon's power, he didn't have much power. Like, if you ever watched that show, and I mean for a few years, a lot of the topics were specific. You could tell
all of the topics were selected by Skip, and Shannon wanted to select some topics, and they wouldn't let him.
They wouldn't let him. And most of the Skip topics were like always stuff he liked, the Cowboys, Tom Brady.
Cowboys, Lakers, LeBron.
Well, I guess he liked it Shannon for the fact that, he doesn't like LeBron. So he knew he could go against him with that. But, he loves Brady. He always got a segment on the Cowboys, even when the Cowboys are not even like in contention or nothing to do with the game that's coming on that day, and then he'll still be talking about the Cowboys. Like,
and that drop dead gorgeous quarterback that was drafted #1 overall. What's his name?
Lawrence.
No, not him. The guy that was at Cleveland. He was drafted by Cleveland. He loves Baker Mayfield.
And the what's your boy? The left-hander, Tebow. That was his BFF. And he'd make all kind of excuses for their lack of production in the game. He'd come up with every kind of excuse you could think of. You're like, man, he must hold stock in that dude's performance because he fight for him.
What's in Skip's heart? We don't know what's in Skip's heart.
I know he loves anybody that comes out of like that belt. Oklahoma, Texas, that belt. He goes ham for them if they, like a defense attorney. Like you may as well hire him if you get in some trouble because he's gonna fight for him. But
Stephen A. Booger came out on his own podcast, and I've come to find out like Shannon's podcast was owned by Fox, but they gave it to him as part of his severance. Stephen A's podcast is probably owned by ESPN that he just started, but Stephen A came on this podcast and said that he'd love to have Shannon on First Take. Now that's got to be grinding Skip's gears.
Yeah, well, he said, listen, I'd love to have him, and he said, but it wouldn't be a regular day-to-day. He said he loves Michael Irvin. He said, I support the playmaker whenever that situation that he's in comes to resolve. He said he'll be back on Mondays with him. Whenever that issue comes to fruition, he'll be back on Mondays, especially when football season is going. He said he loves having go ahead.
It is resolved. Nothing happened.
No, it's still ongoing. There's litigation. Because I think he sued. I think Michael sued them. No,
he's suing everybody.
Sued them. So until that comes to a head, they're not gonna. Stephen A. can't really have him back on the air like that. And plus, it ain't football season no more. So when football comes, you'll probably see him. He said he loves having a doggy on Wednesdays. And
you don't know what's in Mad Dog's heart.
Well, but Stephen A. said he loves having them. So
of course
he said he's not going away from that. He said he can have a day though in the week, just like he has certain people on days. He said he'd love to have Shannon for one day out of the week. So we'll see how that goes. But Shannon, his show, they're saying how I don't think Stephen A.'s show is connected to ESPN. I don't think they have anything to do with it. I ain't sure, but I don't think they do. Shannon, because he's with LeBron's Clutch Sports dudes. So he can go, if they gave him his club Shay to walk with him, he can, he might that's just
Clutch is gonna invest. Clutch is gonna invest.
His show. So who knows how they they come about doing it. Maybe he does something like I seen with Jamil Hill. She just left Spotify. I didn't even know she had a podcast on there. I assume it's a lot of people on there has podcasts on, but she's making bank. Her contract with them, and she quit. She's like she didn't want to do it no more. So maybe something like that comes where he can put his show.
It'd be nice to see him debate Hill. But what was you saying, Ace?
What was I saying? Yeah, I mean Stephen A's he's with Disney, so there's not much he can say on his podcast. I mean, you don't do much to piss off Disney or ESPN or those guys over there, because they're gonna make you make a choice. Either you're gonna do it our way or there's no way. So I'm pretty sure they might own it, or they're guarding what he's saying closely.
Yeah, and you know, the biggest thing I think was the fact that when the guy from Buffalo basically died on the field, had to be revived a couple of times, Skip's lack of compassion and humility.
Empathy. Yeah, he was saying they should have finished the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was like maybe okay,
and he wouldn't apologize. And Shannon came out on the show and said that on their show and said that you should have that the producers told me you were going to apologize. He was like, they didn't tell me to do it. And Skip was like, see, Shannon didn't understand the power of Skip. Skip was like, they was just telling you that to shut you up. And, you know, ain't nobody about to make me apologize for anything I said.
Yeah, and even
that's for you.
Like
that's for you black people come out and apologize all the time. We don't apologize.
70s. That it ain't like that now. So you should have some sort of compassion for somebody who's hurt on the field like that.
Somebody could die.
He did die.
He did die.
He was dead for 28 seconds.
Longer. So, I mean, it's just his lack of, you know, that humility, man. Where's your concern for people?
Well, we've said on the show, Skip's going to go out like Al Campanis if they don't put him out the pasture soon. Yeah. You know, he's just gonna drop the N-bomb right there on Fox and come out and apologize.
But he's on Fox. They don't give a damn.
You see him crying about Chuck, crying about Barkley.
Barkley doubled down. Yeah, I saw it. And Barkley doubled down and called him an idiot after Fox after he left. But let's push past that. Melanated Lacrosse, where we at? Plus, we're going to hit on some other hot topics. But let's talk Sha'Carri. You remember Sha'Carri was smoking a weed, costed herself this and that. She was maligned, you know, all over the world news. But man, bro, she came back at the World Track in the Diamond League and smoked everybody. Sha'Carri.
She smoked everybody.
She smoked.
Yeah, chronic.
She should be doing that. Like when she beats somebody, she'd be like this. I go right online like I'm smoking a such and such pack, whatever the name of these people. She should do that. I'd have John Morant, Critty dancing. You know what I mean?
They have a John Morant pack.
We'd have a full coon fest. What's your girl name play for LSU? I'd have her doing this. I'd be live every day.
Reese.
Yeah. But y'all got any comments on Sha'Carri? I'm proud of her though, because Ace, we covered this and we were pushing for her, man. I like her. I like Sha'Carri and what she talks about and what she stands for, bro. She's a little ghetto fabulous, but yeah.
You know, her performances have been sporadic. I don't know if the Chronic has anything to do, or the John Morant pack has anything to do with it, but she's still competing and she's still trying. It's just a matter of, you know, you're a long time to get back to the Olympics again. You got the World Championships every year, but you know, we'll see how she's still young, so we'll see, you know, how she competes as she, you know, ventures on to the next Olympics. You know.
Hey. She comes out and talks about, man, they counted me out, and like I got a lot of, I think she knows she's up against Pink Stink, and she took responsibility for what she did. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think she's on a mission, bro. You know, and I'm pulling for her.
She's on a mission.
Diesel, you got any take on Sha'Carri before we push past this topic?
The track, I want to say this, the track and field on the women's side and primarily on the men's side, my God, man, you're gonna see in the next couple of years. Now, I generally keep up with the men's on the regular, right? Mm-hmm. I watch their races like every couple of weeks to 3 weeks. I'll go back, watch the 100, 200, the sprints, all of that. The women, I kind of tailed off. I was watching something the other day. But if you watch within the next coming of years, and I don't know her exact age, I assume she's in her early 20s. Yeah. But especially on the men's side, you're going to see dudes. I mean, those records that Bolt made, are very hard to break. I mean, very, very, for the 100 and the 200.
Bo Jackson.
You're going to see these dudes coming very close to, if not breaking those records.
Oh no!
Bolt. Yeah, you know.
You saying Bolt? They gonna
yeah, insane Bolt. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna see these guys coming very close to, if not breaking it. I mean,
so are you saying that they're juicing up? They're taking the same alleged steroids that LeBron James is on?
No, I'm saying that these guys have been training and they're getting. One guy, I didn't even realize this guy. He's like, he ain't even in college yet, and he's been running with these world dudes, running under 20 seconds on 200 meters all the time. I was like, good God! And you can look at him.
Take the international drug test before you go into the Olympics.
Yeah, they're gonna look for everything: deer antler spray, everything. You know. Hey, but all right, we heard it here first. We're expecting some world record breaking runners. Are they U.S. runners?
All of them, every single one of them I seen. I can name some names for you if you catch them. The young one is I think his name is it Knighton? I think it's Ariel Knighton, something like that. You got Fred Curley. You got what's the guy out of he's out of like Florida or something. I forget his name. He's a speed burner. The 200 dude, Noah Lyles. Man, all these guys, man. I'm saying there's one out of Britain. He's a black guy too. Real light-skinned guy. He's fast too. But I'm telling you, it's like 5, 6 of these guys. And
all right, we'll be on the
fast.
We'll be on the lookout for it. These are prepare your list. You weren't in the know. We're going to jump to top 5 NBA floppers of all time. And I know it's hard to do all time because we didn't watch all time, but just this is based upon all time of what we know and what we've seen. Top 5, that's right, NBA floppers of all time. Now,
let me ask this before we get to the next topic.
Absolutely.
Did they stop running in Jamaica? I mean, you say they got the women's team.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's why I didn't really elaborate on the women too much, because they got some young Jamaican women that are bad.
Well, we just smoked their relay team. Our girls smoked Jamaica.
But I ain't talking about the relay. I was talking about individually because they're kind of young, so they ain't as prime and poised as probably the U.S. sprinters are because they got more chicks who've been
right. You mean the technique, but
more training to do.
They got a young guy I was watching too. One black sprinter, and he was like super young, and they're saying he would be real good. But as of right now, I don't think none of them are gonna touch. Not for the next couple of years. These guys, I'm telling you, man, oh man, they some speed burning. Like I said, they may not break Bolt's records because those are really, really fast times. But they're gonna come close.
They're gonna flirt with it.
Close. Yes.
All right.
So you said top 5 floppers.
Top 5 NBA floppers of all time. I'll start with my number 5. Robert Big Shot Horry. Robert Horry is number 5 on my list of
Big Shot Bob. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what they call him. Big Shot Bob. Yeah.
Big Shot Bob.
Yeah, that's my number 5. Ace, who's number 5? And in the chat, list your top 5 NBA floppers of all time. We know you guys like watching people flop around the court.
My number 5 is Reggie. Don't call me Cheryl Miller.
Ooh, I forgot about that SOB, and he should get up there and shoot 92% from the line. Reggie didn't make my list, but that's a great selection. Number 5, I forgot about. Actually, that was probably Cheryl. Remember, we never knew who was playing and who wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Did you notice you don't see Cheryl anymore? You don't even see her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you never see Cheryl and Reggie in the same place. Never. Yeah. Sometimes it's like that TV. They'll be next to each other with that mirror. You know what I mean? Yeah.
She was doing sportcasting, and all of a sudden when Reggie retired, she disappeared.
Correct.
Yeah.
Reggie and Regina. Diesel, you ready for your number 5?
Joanna, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna give one, even though I ain't had enough time to really.
Yeah, yours may not be in a particular order because you didn't have time to marinate on it.
But I'm gonna throw this one out because I remember he used to take a lot of them, and I know they was flops. Bill Lane Beer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Big Bill Lane Beer. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you something. If you're drop dead gorgeous and pink, you should flop. Yeah, man, you'll get every call in the league. I'd be flopping all around the place, bro. But the league supposedly has a rule against it. But Ace, let's go ahead to your number 4. Who's your number 4 flopper? Now, this is a talent. It can get it can get fouls on the other team, and it gets your team possession. So this is a talent, and I'm not going to say I haven't flopped before. Well, it's not even really flop. You get pushed and you oversell it. You know what I mean? You know. But go ahead. Who's your number 4, Ace?
My number 4 was Diesel's number 5. Bill, I'm gonna hack you on defense, but flop as soon as I can. Lambier. So yeah, Bill Lambier is my number 4.
Great. I'm ashamed to admit, Bill Lambier didn't even make my list, and he should be here. My number 4 said drop dead gorgeous, blonde haired, blue eyed, plays for the Lakers. Austin Reeves. He's moving up the list. I know he doesn't have a big sample. But Austin Reeves is my number 4 for the LA Lakers. Austin Reeves. Oh, he's a flopper.
He's already on your list?
He's earned it.
So what we at, number 4?
Yeah, number 4.
Okay, so number 4 for me will be, now this person, he actually takes a lot of good ones, but he also flops a whole lot. And to be quite honest, he should have more ejections than he has, because I never see them let somebody talk like they let this person talk. Draymonius Green. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You got him down as a flopper, huh?
Oh yeah. He loved to flop. He takes some good charges too, but he mixes in a bunch of flopping with it, and regardless of what he does, he getting up screaming and yelling at the ref. Even when they call the foul his way, he's still arguing with him.
What's the little annoying guard that does this? He didn't make my list, but he plays for the Lakers. He's got that blonde patch in his hair.
Looks like the dude off of Shot. No, he looks like the dude off of what's the Belly. Remember when they went to Jamaica to get him?
Yes.
And DMX went to get him. That's what he looks like.
Oh, that son gun. Oh, he flops all over the place, but he's not on my list.
That's the guy that turned the $84 million contract down for Lakers and ended up making peanuts.
Oh yeah, he was betting.
Schroeder.
Yeah, he was betting on himself. Yeah, Schroeder. He was betting on himself. Yeah. He bet on himself.
Yeah.
All right. Schroeder, oh my goodness. All right, number 3. My number 3. You guys, I'm sure, have seen this guy play lots of basketball in the 80s. And to your point about Draymond, likes to hack and play, in a certain way. But Danny Ainge understood the power of his pink. And Danny Ainge got a whole lot of calls flopping around out there, especially in those games they would play against Detroit, in those series against Detroit. Danny Ainge is my number 3 all-time NBA flopper.
Yeah, he's a Celtic.
Yeah, he's a Celtic.
Yeah.
Drop dead gorgeous.
Wait till we get to number 1. My number 1 gonna surprise y'all.
We're gonna see. Stay focused, guys. Ace, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is a bearded guy from one of those shithole countries, Vlade Divac.
Oh yeah, he was notorious flop.
They should have named the flop rule the Vlade Divac rule. You know what I mean?
Flop.
Yes, they should have named it the Vlade Divac rule because that's when they initiated it. Because Vlade was being so flagrant with his flopping, and they don't call it as much anymore, which is an issue. All right, Diesel, we're at number 3. You're number 3.
The quintessential point guard that never wins the
Quintessential.
title. Give it up for Christopher Paul. Yes.
Oh my goodness. He should be on my list.
Commercial.
Oh my God! All he does, bro, he be on offense still complaining about the call down on the court. They be dribbling it up. He be talking to the ref. He wants everything, and then he's never fouled in his life. He has never fouled. In his mind, he's never committed a foul in his life.
No.
Chris Paul. Oh my goodness. All right. We got Chris Paul. Ace, let's jump to your number 2 on your all-time NBA floppers. Again, Diesel likes to talk eras, so this is kind of unfair. But this is based upon what we've seen, because I didn't know what was going on back in the day when Wilt was dunking on people and, you know, and putting his nuts on the head of.
I don't even know if they had charges back then, did they?
They changed.
I don't know. Yeah. They changed the rules.
They tiger-proofed the basketball courts when Will was putting his nuts on top of people's hair. Yeah. But my number dos is Manu Ginobili from the San Antonio
my goodness.
Spurs.
No, he was great.
He
was real good at it. And you notice a lot of the European guys who did the charges, hey, they all do this. And they get up, they all going like this. When they but the league banned this. So it's funny. I was gonna have my guy on Cap TV do a video about that. You know, which because they all they've reduced the basketball player to this. They told him you can't, you know, because that looks bad, it looks ghetto. So now they the European players, oh my God, you see Joker doing it. Joker be doing that all game. Long arm.
What I do?
Yeah, Manny definitely. Oh my God, I forgot about Manny. He was the one they first started letting travel and called it a Euro step.
He was.
The Euro traveling. Yeah. All right. Manny Ginobili that was your number 2, right, Diesel?
No, that was
your number 3. That was your number 3.
My 3 was Chris Paul. That was his number 2.
That was my number 2. My 3 was Bade, and 2 was Manu.
So that's his 2. That's Ace's 2.
2 is Manu. Okay. Diesel, who's your number 2?
I actually have a tie for number 2, and it is between.
So your one of them's number 2 and one of them's number 1?
No, these are 2 people tied for number 2. I couldn't.
All right, well, I'll let you have your way. This is Burger King.
It is Weird Harold, because he runs up the court. If you know what I'm talking about, that's King James.
Oh, Fat Albert?
Yeah, if you ever watched him run up the court a lot of times, he's like Weird Harold. When the Cosby kids be running, that's like him. That head bouncing. He's tied.
So, you got Queen James. Smart. Queen James, that's interesting because they call him the GOAT. But go ahead.
Yeah, him and Marcus Smart. Both of them, they tied to me. Marcus Smart is a great theatrical.
He is. He does flop around out there.
Yeah, he gets some legitimate charges, and that's why it's sometimes hard to see it. But he mixes in a whole bunch of flopping with it, and he's always
and let me be clear: flopping doesn't only occur on charges. It occurs when push-offs. Somebody might hook you or whatever. Even your boy on the Lakers with the patch, he be dribbling around and he'll dribble around and somebody barely just fall and lose the ball. I'm like, come on, man. You wouldn't get that call. You wouldn't get that call on the streets of Chicago basketball court.
He said LeBron taught me that.
Yeah. LeBron
did he say that?
Excellent. I don't know, but he's an excellent flopper. He's an excellent flopper. And an actor. He acts a lot of that time to try to get calls.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 2. So you got 2 number 2s. Who was your number 2, Ace?
My number 2 was Manu Ginobili.
So we're in agreement. I got Queen LeBron James as my number 2 flopper in the history of the National Basketball Association. Many call him the GOAT. It's disgusting. He's big. He's usually bigger and stronger than everybody else, but he's always finds himself on the floor, which makes no sense. I mean, this guy's on the floor more than Torrey was at MP. You know what I mean? All right.
Well,
Now.
he started up as a youth when I guess they were pushing him around to now. So he just developed that skill of flopping as a youth.
If he played in the 80s or the 90s, he sure foul out a lot because people in the 80s and 90s
would take that charge. Right.
And they take him on him because he doesn't.
That's all he does is bully
all he
ball.
does is a straight line, straight towards the rim. And
Bro, I heard an announcer talk about he's so good. It wasn't LeBron. They're talking about another player. He drops his shoulder and pushes off. I'm like, that's a damn foul. You guys are glorifying that. It's a foul. That's not being called. You can't drop your shoulder and bully past somebody. That's a foul.
Right.
All right. So you guys have mentioned my number one, so I'll go ahead and throw it out here. It was tough between LeBron and this player, but Vlade Divac, who I think they should name the award. It should be a Floppers Award every year given out, and it should be called the Vlade Divac Award. So he's my number one. Ace, go ahead with your number one flopper in NBA history.
My number one flopper, based on body of work, is LeBron James.
Wow, that's controversial.
You think so?
Yeah.
So you're saying he's the greatest flopper of all time? He flopped better than Michael Jordan. Is that what you're telling me?
Michael Jordan was not a damn flopper, you son of a biscuit eater. Brad James has been on tape flopping and acting and making his way to Hollywood for a number of years. So yes, he's my number one flopper in NBA history.
And I'd say Kobe didn't flop either. Go ahead.
Hey, he does this more than anybody too. LeBron, you see?
Oh my God! Yes.
Review the call. Review.
Yes.
Review.
Yeah, it could be the first second of the game, and he wants to waste it now.
Yes. First play.
And to your point about Draymond, LeBron gets away with hollering at the refs a lot too, bro. I've seen him get the refs to change without going up to the camera. I've seen him get them to change their calls. I haven't seen them change their calls for anybody else in the history of the game. And they changed their calls because he going on a steroid allegedly rant, where he can't control his emotions. And they be looking at that, oh yeah, we're gonna change this call.
Yeah, he's just not as demonstrative most of the time. Like Draymond Green, he has the same look. Like he been drinking some Canadian Mist before he got on the court.
Canadian Club. I never knew the difference.
Every time he goes at them refs, he looks the same way.
Juice.
Like straight going in on them, man.
Yeah, but one thing about Draymond, though, they'll call, like you say, he gets away with it, but he does lead the league in techs year after year, and LeBron is nowhere up there, and I think he should be getting more techs. Both of them should be getting more techs.
That's like Tech and Michael Jordan. I mean, he's the greatest flopper in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, to see Michael Jordan flopping around like that would have hurt my heart. He had too much defensive integrity to be on the ground begging for calls while the team was running the other way, dunking on the guys. All right, Dizo, so we left this up to your number one flopper. You already have LeBron off your list. So
this one is going to surprise y'all, but I never seen, and you don't see him as much doing it now because he don't get the same time. But when I tell you, you're going to think about it. And this fool, he's such a good actor. He's doing all of this. Kyle Lowry.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh,
this guy is like straight acting, trying to get texts and everything. He's
flopping on offense and defense.
Man.
Yeah, he's a both sides of the ball flopper.
He's an NBA champion.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He ain't trying.
And he get the Oscar too. He get the Oscar from me.
That's interesting. Man, LeBron is either on our number one or number two on all our lists. LeBron James, Clutch Sports, if you listen to this, stop that flopping. It's not a good look for your legacy.
No, it's not.
I mean, you know, one thing you can say about Cream Puff Durant, when he
He's not a
falls,
flop.
it's legitimate. Right. He don't flop. Exactly. He'll stay on his feet. He might complain and think he got fouled, but yes, he don't be
He's not a
flopping.
flop.
No.
And he's probably too scared though. You keep flopping, you might
You're
get
gonna
hurt.
break something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, could you imagine if Steph Curry worked with Kyle Lowry and that other guy with the blonde patch in his hair on the Lakers and Schroeder, and Steph start doing that, bro, late in his career and flopping with LeBron? We should start flop camp, guys. Have officials working with us, you know what I mean? Showing us, flop camp.
This is an extra 5 points a game. It'll get you in the NBA.
Easily. All right. Melanated Lacrosse, where we at? That's today's topic. I didn't have a booger of the week. Did you guys have any boogers out there exposing themselves?
No, I didn't. It wasn't a big week for boogers for me, so I
didn't catch too many boogers.
Offhand, yeah. So we'll be looking for next week's booger of the week.
All right. Well, you guys get a pass this week. All you boogers out there boogering it up on the internet and boogering it up on national TV on your different shows or whatever. But let's go ahead and jump to this topic. I learned a lot going down this rabbit hole with lacrosse. Origin of lacrosse. As I said in the intro, I didn't know that the Native Americans invented lacrosse. So this is something else that was stolen from the indigenous people of America, and they would use it. It was ceremonial, and it was a way to get, so you wasn't flopping. It was a way to get your youth into warrior mode, so everybody wasn't getting trophies, and they would, use a tree or something natural as the goal. And it could be anything. The field could be anywhere from like 100 yards to miles that they would play this game. Yeah.
Like a rite of passage.
Correct. So everybody would come out and compete, you know what I mean? And so they said anywhere from 500 yards to several miles apart, any number of players were involved. Some estimates have mentioned between 100 and 100,000 players participating in a game at any one time. The rules were simple. The ball was not to be touched by a player's hand, and there were no boundaries. The ball was tossed in the air to indicate the start of the game, and the players raced to be the first to catch. The original wooden balls were later replaced by deerskin balls filled with fur, and the sticks developed over time to become more sophisticated implements. The netting made from deer sinews, so they were using all natural. In preparation for a game, players used paint and charcoal, they was in blackface out there, to decorate their faces and bodies. Like y'all said, it was a rite of passage. It toughened up the young warriors for war, but it was also played for recreation and religious reasons. And it was not unusual for bets to be placed on the outcome of the games. And the French Jesuits, who may or may not be the Illuminati, were the first pinks to come across seeing lacrosse being played. And then, so I'll wrap it up with this. One of them, John de Brebeuf, wrote about the game being played by the Huron Indians in 1636, and it was he who named the game lacrosse. So another thing stolen from the indigenous population.
Always. No, it don't stop.
So I wanted to ask you guys, what are some barriers as you think about it coming up? What do you think is stopping us from, some hurdles that's keeping the blacks from playing this game? And Troy has said the Indians were black, but go ahead.
There's probably popularity and professional monetary pay has stopped us from succeeding in the sport, where chicks dig the long ball and touchdowns and these guys making 80, 50, $100 million. And
you're saying Reggie Jackson is on getting candy bars. We ain't seeing no lacrosse players.
Right. Absolutely. So, as it's not popularized and our main culture, it goes to, kids not accepting it in high school and not caring about the sport. So
accepting it, I don't even think we had. And here's the thing. I was at a South suburban school.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't even think we may have had a lacrosse. So to your point, I'm in the athletic department, and to this day, I don't even know if we had that. And we probably did. I'd have to ask some of the guys, and nobody cared.
Nobody. We didn't have it on 79th Street.
Y'all didn't have it at, did y'all have it at Simeon?
No, I think it's more of, it's looked at kind of like the same big issue that you're getting with all of the different sports today, even the most fundamental ones in the urban community. It's people don't look at that as accessible. They don't look at they having out, same with golf in urban schools or whatever, golf teams, lacrosse, stuff like that. They think that it's and quite honestly, although they don't make a lot of money from playing it, because I think most people who play it, they got like regular jobs. They do lacrosse as a secondary thing, but
you mean professionally? The ones who, they're getting paid money like the WNBA.
Yeah, it's more of a wealth sport if you think about it. It's more of a status type sport. Same way you would think of like
golf,
like polo in golf,
tennis to a certain extent.
Yes, tennis, because tennis you would think, hey, tennis court, get your racket and tennis balls, go play.
Right.
Yeah, but then good luck with trying to get yourself into that industry.
Yeah.
to become competitive. They charge all kind of fees and everything, which is the neutralizer when it comes to urban.
The fees, the equipment. So you guys are talking about accessibility as well.
Yeah.
Systemic racism.
Yeah. Yeah, because I never knew it was invented by Native Americans, but we sure know the Pink Man invented NBA basketball, which he stole from the janitor. Yeah.
Allegedly. I mean, you got this sport where it's dominated in the NCAA's by the pink guy. Why isn't how much does it take to get a team of players together, melanated players, give them sticks, the little bit of equipment that they have?
They don't want us with sticks. That's the thing. They don't. That's why we ain't in hockey. They don't want us playing nothing with sticks. Golf. You saw the vice lords was walking around with them golf clubs back in the day. Act like y'all ain't seen that.
Yeah, they're gonna whatever that sport is. If they pick and choose that they want to
baseball, they don't want us with sticks, Ace. But go ahead.
If they pick and choose that they want to keep you out, they're gonna put usually financial ways to restrict you from gaining that access to see the sport, play the sport, get good at the sport. They're gonna do something to put that clamp on you from excelling.
Well, in 1888, the year my beloved great-grandmother was born, allegedly, Albert F. Lewis, he was the first known black lacrosse player. He took the field as a goalie for the Cornwall Club and the Canadian national team. His name is found in a Montreal Gazette article from 1988. 1957, Jim Brown scores 5 goals in the first half of the USILA North-South game in Baltimore. Just a few months later, he started his pro football career with the Browns. In 69, Tina Sloan Green toured the U.S. women's team to Australia and New Zealand as the first black player in U.S. team history. So this is 69. This is right before a lot of us were born.
Right.
In March of 1975, I was still in Theta. Morgan State upsets number 1 ranked. Got to do a show on this, Ace. Morgan State upsets number 1 ranked Washington and Lee in men's lacrosse, the inspiration for the 10 Bears book chronicling the historic occasion. Members of the Bears program rose to fame in the lacrosse world with Joe Folks, Big Folks, gracing the cover of the NCAA Lacrosse Guide in 78. Spring 82, Temple wins the AIAW championship under Tina Sloan Green, the first of 3 national championships she won as head coach of the Owls. I didn't know any of this. And I was in 1982. I should have known, but I didn't care. I don't care today. Ace was talking about Northwestern. All right. Now, 89, Syracuse Rodney Dumpson scores game-winning goals against Johns Hopkins in the NCAA title game. Dumpson finished. So it sounds like when we play, we dominate. In 90, Fred Opie helps the U.S. men in the World Championship in Perth, Australia. Opie was the first black player in U.S. men's team history, 1990. Let's see, 97, Sherry Greer Brown is named the MVP of the World Championship game in Japan. She repeats as MVP of the title game in 01 in England, winning her 3rd gold medal. 99, Rick Saul becomes the first black men's head coach at a Division I level college, earning the job at Dartmouth. So that's 1999. We're still crossing racial barriers.
Yeah.
2003, Virginia's John Christmas scores the game-winning goal to clinch a victory over top-ranked Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. Later that season, Christmas scored the final goal of Virginia's 9-7 national championship game win over Johns Hopkins. 2005, John Hopkins' Cal Harrison becomes the first black player to win the Tewaaraton Award. 2006, Brian Silcott is named the first black head coach in Major League Lacrosse history, which I didn't even know existed. He coached the San Francisco Dragons for 2 seasons. In 08, Ramel Bratton, and Will Barrow play together on an all-black midfield line as Virginia defeats John Hopkins 13-12 in overtime as an unplanned convergence that played out on national TV and 2 days later was recognized by the Baltimore Sun as a milestone for diversity within lacrosse. I'm almost done. 09, Howard, coached by Jesse Morgan, hosted Bryant, coached by Karen Healy, marking the first time that 2 black women's lacrosse coaches went head-to-head in a Division I game. Howard shouldn't be Division I. Gina Oliver Thomas earns all-world honors at the World Championship in the Czech Republic, helping the U.S. win back the gold medal. 2010, Wale, who cares, performs at the LXM Pro Tour in Philadelphia. Cal Harrison launched the LXM Pro Tour. Okay, who cares? 2012, Taylor Thornton receives the Honda Award as the nation's top women's lacrosse player. 2013, the first ever HBCU women's lacrosse game between Howard and Delaware State ends with a 17-4 Bison blowout. 2013, Demi-Ann Cook scores a pair of goals in an NCAA tournament against Maryland, finishing season with a nation's best 90 goals. She's colored. Cook scored 158 goals in 2 seasons at Stony Brook after transferring from Adelphi, where she was twice named the IWLCA Midfielder of the Year, and blah, blah, blah. And then they're talking about Uganda. We don't care. 2016, Miles Jones is drafted 1st overall in the MLL draft. 2016, NCAA Division I men's lacrosse returns to an HBCU for the first time since '81. ESPN came out. Let's see. We'll skip past that. I'm going to get current. All right. 2020, Isaiah Davis, Allen, Chad Tolliver, Mark Ellis, and Chris Alien join one another as the MLL4, standing together during the national anthem to raise awareness of systematic racism. The summer of 22 was marked by several demonstrations, including Jules Henningbird standing at the Crossroads and the launch of PLL's Black Lacrosse Alliance. And finally, February 1, 2022, World Lacrosse announced the formation of its Continental Federation, the Africa Association of Lacrosse, to support the sport's rapidly increasing popularity across Africa. So it seems like it's catching on in Africa, but the melanated, the foundationally black Americans could care less about it, myself included.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, maybe I'm Booker of the Week. I don't know.
That's basically what's going on. Because the youth are cut off from it as far as sport is concerned at their local high school or at the local urban high school, where those athletes that can process and cross-check and carry the sticks and run up and down the field to dominate the sport are probably, discouraged from playing the sport. It's
the last time I heard about lacrosse, other than when Jim Brown passed, could they bring up what he's done?
Yeah, I hadn't even known
Fast.
Jim Brown played lacrosse. So H mentioned it, but go ahead, bro.
I remember him, from years ago when they would speak about what he did,
He would talk about it in interviews or something. Yeah, I kind of remember that.
But I hadn't heard anything really about lacrosse prior to then. The last time I heard about it was that Duke scandal that they had, where they allegedly, I don't
Rapist.
even, where that, I think, wasn't the player who was involved, the female, wasn't she black? I can't
No.
remember.
Oh, you mean sexual assault allegations that do?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, those, she was black, and you can't believe those drop dead gorgeous
Rapist.
Caucasians.
I don't know what happened
They're gonna
about that case.
sexually
but that was
assault
the
a
last
dirty black
thing
girl. You can't
I
believe it.
remember about
Yeah.
lacrosse.
I forgot about that. I do remember that.
The Duke lacrosse team, they were rapists.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. I don't know what
Interesting.
came about that though. I don't know
That's a
if
good
anybody
point.
was
Was there
sued.
jail time? We might have to do a show on that.
They were at Duke. They swept it under the rug. I mean, that's what happened. To
Hey,
them.
you don't know what's in their hearts, Ace. You can't do that.
Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, they were rapists, and they swept it under the rug, and the story got smothered. Somebody paid somebody, and somebody paid somebody to say something to somebody, and you haven't heard anything else about it.
I bet you if the UNLV basketball team had raped some drop dead gorgeous pink girl,
Yeah.
you'd still be hearing about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
listen to this. I'll give you a quick update. I'm just reading what's been listed. It says, so the investigation and resolution of the case sparked public discussion of racism, sexual violence, media bias, due process on campuses. The former lead prosecutor, blah, 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 ultimately resigned in disgrace and was disbarred and briefly
Covering it up, Ace.
for violating ethics standards.
Yeah.
In April of 2007, the North Carolina Attorney General dropped all charges, declaring the 3 lacrosse players innocent and
You said it,
victims of a
Ace.
tragic rush to accuse. So basically, nothing. Yeah, I guess all of the charges were dropped. Nobody did anything, and
It'd be nice to get that. It'd be nice to get that sister on the show. They probably gave her a check too to go away quietly.
Don't talk about this no more. Man.
Yeah,
He's a good, upstanding young man. They didn't know what they were doing.
yeah. I mean, Peyton Manning's doing it, allegedly. You know what I mean?
We don't know. We didn't know what was in their hearts. So, yeah.
That's the thing about racism. You know, they control the courts, the DA. You know, and they That's the problem.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Real quick, the 3 guys, I guess, that were charged, they sued Duke, and the university settled and paid approximately $20 million to each claimant.
Do they say anything about the girl suing Duke and getting $20 million?
I don't believe that she did. I believe that case was all dependent.
Can you imagine Ace being charged of such a crime down at U of I in Champaign in the 90s, man? And then we were able to sue the university for even bringing the allegations. We got walked off with $20 million. We'd have been in Champaign County Jail. They'd have sent you down there to Statesville.
If you really read the case, man, they're saying like the I guess the girl's attorney or I guess the prosecutor or something was very crooked or something to the fact where she got disbarred, like basically. Yeah, as if it was like false allegations and everything. So I don't know, like I said, but that was just the last time I remember specifically.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like the homegirl was bogus.
Yeah, like it was a fictitious story or something.
Yeah, there's no way these 3 drop dead gorgeous young white pink lacrosse players could have ever touched a melanated woman and sexually assaulted her.
Well, and this was the time where it was probably like an orgy, Diesel, and maybe they were saying she was willing and it was voluntary, but she was probably shit-faced drunk. Yeah. And in today's world, you catching a sexual assault. Back then, you sue everybody.
Hey, I think the girl did graduate with a degree in police psychology.
Yeah, she never went back to class.
Not
to
Duke, but North Carolina Central.
Right, she had to leave school.
Went to HBCU.
Yeah. Wow, I'd love to hear her story. But to you guys' point, the cost of equipment can be a significant barrier for many young athletes. Same excuse we get for baseball. They said recruiting is another challenge, as many college coaches tend to recruit players from affluent areas. You can put in pink, where lacrosse is more popular. Finally, the culture, to Ace's point, of lacrosse can be unwelcoming to black athletes who may feel like outsiders in this predominantly white sport. I mean, we're still breaking color barriers. How many of today's kids are willing to go into a stadium and get all kind of N-words, N-bombs dropped towards them here in 2023?
Right.
The cost of equipment for a player can vary depending on the quality and brand of the equipment. So Ace, you might want to compare this to baseball costs. You know more about this to me, but according to LAX Weekly, the cost of equipment can range from $50 to $120 for a lacrosse head, and $50 to $20 for a lacrosse shaft. More affordable lacrosse sticks can cost maybe around $40. The most expensive piece of equipment is typically the helmet, which can cost well above $100. According to Mom's Team, average lacrosse equipment costs $565, whereas football gear, which we can play, costs an average of $558. So,
Yeah, I mean,
what's the situation?
baseball bats go from $40 to $600, and helmet, 40, 50, $60. I mean, so it's all similar as far as costs are concerned to play lacrosse, baseball, football, but it's there's no lacrosse fields in my neighborhood.
But the Native Americans, you don't need a lacrosse field. You just get out there and you make a goal. We used to do that growing up, didn't we? This is the goal between here and here. That's the touchdown, and that was it.
Yeah.
Same way they do. You see these different races of people do it with soccer. You could be at a little forest preserve or something, a picnic or something. Next thing you know, they pull out a ball. Somebody grab two garbage cans or something and say, "This is where the net is," and you're like, "Man, they playing soccer just like that." So yeah, it's kind of like the same thing. But again, I think it's based on like a certain kind of prestige that they don't want to see minorities to an extent really get involved into their sport like that. They just
Diesel, you remember at USC when they had the scandal about the athletic department letting affluent people get scholarships, and they would use lacrosse. So this seems like, this is just their way of taking that money that those football players earn and the basketball programs earn, and finding a way to funnel Brett Favre's kids to these schools, and you give them a full lacrosse scholarship. Nobody's watching. Nobody knows that this kid's a bum, and that's why you can get a guy like Jim Brown out there, and he scores 100 goals in his first game ever playing.
Yeah. As long as he can run up and down the field. I mean, as long as the other kids can run up and down the field with them and, watch them score, that's good enough to get them a scholarship. Well, Jim Brown has to excel and be one of the best lacrosse players in the history of the game. Yeah.
And Bizzo, they changed the rule for Jim Brown, which has since been reverted. They made a rule that you got to keep the stick up close to you, whereas Jim Brown was just running around like, with his stick. They don't like the black guy. That's what I'm telling you, Ace. Yeah. That's why they don't have us in baseball. You can't be walking home. You said your kids got harassed walking home from practice with bats.
Yeah. I mean, Jim Brown wasn't violent with it. I mean, he just probably used his stick with skill, and that's why they changed the rule. He probably, But
I really look at it. It's very similar to soccer, the way that they use the system to manipulate
football
from trying to play. And I always go back to the guy in that goalie, the female goalie for the U.S. team,
Mia Hamm.
Nah,
was that Mia Hamm?
She's like a forward.
The
girl who was married to the guy from the Seahawks, Jeremy Stevens, I think the tight end name was. I forget his name. But she said when she was doing that interview, and then she said, the problem is in America, because they were asking like, well, how come America isn't always able to compete and beat these teams in World Cup and these different tournaments they have? And she said, because they won't let minorities. They try to make it about money for you to get into the sport. but you won't let minorities get in here when you know that these minorities are prime athletes that are better than half of these people that you got that are playing, but you don't want them to get into the sport, so you keep them weeded
Well, what's
out.
weird is they're doing it to the NBA now. They created all this AAU, and because I was talking to my brother about it when his daughter was coming up. Basketball is expensive now. We used to just be able to go out there in the court, run up and down, play high school ball. Now you got to be in this circuit, and your parents have got to be dropping you off here, and
you got to fly here and go to hotels
and
here.
pay this. And,
yeah.
All of the sports are doing it, man. It's like a systematic thing. Like, man, what the heck?
That's why you notice a trend of high yellow players in the league and pink.
Yeah. How do we keep them out of the sport?
Yeah. You're not going to get somebody. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys, before we get to last words, I want to ask you about, and I'll start with you, Ace, and I'll throw it to Diesel. Benefits of lacrosse for Black people. Are there any benefits here?
Absolutely benefits. Any sport that can get you to the university level and pay for school is a benefit for that particular student athlete.
Even private high school tuition. Go ahead.
Right. I mean, the probably the most prominent person on competing in lacrosse now. What's the kid? What's that show? The new Will Smith show, Bel Air. Carlton is a lacrosse player for Bel Air University. I mean, Bel Air High School, and he's I guess dominant in the sport of lacrosse on that particular show. So I mean, that's a inroad for minorities to be playing lacrosse, but it's at Bel Air University. So
correct. They still make it at Bel Air, someplace we don't have access to.
Right.
If you look at the history of it, it's those schools. I think it kind of primarily started when it got to the college levels, was in those Ivy League schools. You had some of the universities on the East Coast that around them, like Syracuse and stuff, that got good at it. But it was like Dartmouth, Cornell, Harvard. Those schools were the ones playing that sport. So yeah, if you can get good at it and get in on it, like I said, it's a certain kind of prestige to it.
Right.
And minorities.
Pink prestige.
What sport do we have as Black folks that we consider prestigious, that's considered prestigious to the masses? Could we think of one? I don't know. What would be one?
Well, all the ones that were, once we get into it, it's dirtied up. It's a thug league.
Yeah, there's not one. I don't think there's one that we rule that's considered prestigious.
Benefits, though. Sport. Any benefits that you guys can see?
It's benefits to it, because again, the masses see it as a prestigious type of sport. Right. Even though Black folks as a whole don't look at it that way.
But you're convincing a parent with a son or a daughter, you're a lacrosse coach and you're recruiting and they want to play basketball and all this. What are you telling them about lacrosse? I know what I'm telling them. It's an easy scholarship, to Ace's point. You can come out here and dominate all these pink people. You could be the Wilt Chamberlain of your day.
Right. Yeah. And like they say, most kids go pro in something other than the sport they're competing in, so as long as you get a education, maybe you can go on to the major lacrosse league, or, maybe, you can still compete in basketball at your university like they used to back in the day. You used to be able to play 2-3 damn sports. But it's a possibility that you may go pro in that, or it'll just get you a degree and you can go on and live your life after the university level.
Well, just to give you guys an idea, the average salary of a lacrosse player is $72,318. In California, $72,318. In Illinois, it's $56,733. I mean, so you're telling these children potentially, I guess, you can learn what it means to, work in a team environment and all the benefits that comes from that. You can get a free high school and college education potentially. And, in the case of a Chicago kid, you can earn anywhere between, $56,000 and $65,000 a year playing a sport that you'll grow to love. I mean,
it's really like, one of the biggest advantages probably would be your ability to intermingle and network with other people.
That's a great point. NIL, you know, if you could be some, you know what I mean, start doing your critty dances out there on the lacrosse field, you know, you might be able to generate some income because you're one of the few of us
those
there.
People that you will entangle and be part of your team and you mix with, most of those people
become presidents and senators.
Gonna be wealthy. You can use the
Corporate
prime
heads.
example. What's our guy Milz? Stan Moore.
Oh yeah,
his son.
Yeah, Stan. He was a director of a company we work for. Big ups to Stan. And boy, he was Barack Obama before Barack Obama. Man. I tell you, yeah, great leadership.
His son went to Yale, right? He tells me one day, he says he gets to this function, his son was at this function, and he's like, yeah, Dad, I'm over here at this house with one of his friends from school or whatever, right? Man, his dad, Stan tells me, man, that his friend's house, it was not the Pritzkers, but it's another wealthy family from Illinois. I forget the name, but the family, like super wealthy, wealthy. He's over there hanging out with his friends from school. But see, that's what I mean by that type of network.
Rubbing elbows with the elite.
Yes, yes, and you get to intermingle, and you know you can find your way to put yourself in a better position where you put your people in a better position.
Right.
So,
well, if I'm coaching, I'll have a course, or part of my coaching would be the psychological impact you're going to have going around, being around all those people. But I'm going to throw it to you, Ace. Throw me your final words, and then you can talk about more benefits if you want, and then lead into your final words. And I'm going to throw it back to you, Diesel, so we can close it out.
Well, you know, I think my main benefit from lacrosse would be your interaction with different cultures, ability to go to possibly another country and play, or you know, just have a career here in the U.S. It's up to you. Just like you know, all basketball players don't make it to the NBA. You have a different choice or a different league that you can play in that possibly they can continue this, or you go into the main league and you know, a men's league that's non-pro, and you know, work after college. But it's just a different route to becoming a professional. As a college student, you'd have your degree, you'd have your ability to play professionally in this sport, and you have a chance to go to school for free. So that's the main benefit I see. Intermingling with different people from different cultures. The lacrosse champions for this year were from Notre Dame for the men, and I believe Northwestern for the ladies. So those are two
both expensive, prestigious schools. Yeah.
Yeah. So even if you get in the conferences that those schools are in to compete in lacrosse, I would say you still be getting a quality education and meeting with some quality individuals, whether pink or melanated, to develop, you know, your stamp on this world. So I really don't understand. Well, I do understand. There's not a lot of professional or high school or college leagues where you have people coming back teaching this particular sport and developing lacrosse clubs on the high school level, especially in the inner cities, that they can go on to become collegiate lacrosse players and professional players. And if that was a goal, maybe of a Jim Brown while he was still here, or a goal of some of these melanated players that are playing now in the professional league, then maybe you can have this line broken where all of these supreme athletes that are in the city that have great hand-eye coordination, speed, power, and strength can go on and dominate this sport. So it's up to somebody to break the line that has been put in the inner cities or the small towns or anywhere that the lacrosse sport isn't being taught, shown, or developed to get the youth of today chances at scholarships or chances to play professionally in this league. I mean, if you're good enough, strong enough, fast enough, I don't think there's a 1 year barrier for you going into a professional lacrosse league for just like they have in basketball by NCAAs or football, 3 years. You got to graduate with your graduating class. To go into professional sports. So, it's another avenue to become a college student, college graduate, and maybe a professional athlete, or professional a person after school. So, those are the benefits I see from maybe exploring lacrosse and developing it in inner cities. I mean, we got fields and parks and football fields everywhere, and I think mostly that's where they play lacrosse, or on football type fields. They can take down the goalposts and put the kids out there and play. So it's just a matter of not having enough funding to fund this sport, or finding the officials or somebody willing to put a league together, which I think is a bunch of bunk. So it's just a matter of somebody getting it done, and hopefully it can be done in the future. The more we talk about it here on Mouthpiece included. That's my final word.
Well said, brother. I'm gonna throw it over to Diesel for his final word.
Heck, he said enough, man. He covered it, pretty much all of the aspects of it. You just want to. It's a shame that as far as like Black folks as a whole, how we don't get the chances, the access to, get into these different type of sports and things. Because who knows if a person is naturally gonna like it. And excel, and then if they, you can use it to your advantage the same way that other people use other sports to their advantage to get better education, put themselves in a better position, whether they stay with the sport or not. I take what Neil deGrasse Tyson said. I seen him doing an interview on Joe Rogan when he said,
we don't know what's in Joe Rogan's heart. Go ahead. Monkeys.
No, I said Neil deGrasse Tyson, where he was schooling Joe on. And he said, you can go to Africa, and he said, you got the tallest people come from Africa. He said, you got the shortest people in the world come from Africa. And then he said, you got the fastest people in the world come from Africa. And he said, and then you also have the best distance runners in the world come from Africa. So I say all that to say this: it shows you that the athletic gene that's within, because of what Europeans label Africans, as there's so many different countries within the continent, but they just label us all one because of the color of our skin. So they should be wanting Black folks, African Americans, however you want to call it, in their sport, in it. But again, it's done that way to put a clamp because of the prestige. They want to make sure that they're able to continue to control these type of
and get those free educations. They don't want us.
Yes. So like I said, there's got to be a way somebody has to step up and provide more pathways for people to get into that field. All it takes is if you can get one big athlete who has a liking or prestige, which I'm kind of surprised. I never really seen Jim Brown promoting lacrosse like that. We've heard him talk about it, but I never really, maybe he did, maybe I just don't know, but I never really seen him promoting that sport to the point where, you could see a lot of minorities wanting to get into it. Kind of similar, like Jordan, if you know that he likes to, Mike likes to racing, bike racing, motorcycles and stuff. And what did he do? He went and started his own race team into competing in that particular circuit of motorcycle racing that he liked, and started his own team. And then he even went up against the top racing teams and found out they basically were controlling the sport by limiting the parts that you could only get. And you couldn't get the fair parts to be able to compete against them. So it takes something like that to help break down those barriers. Hopefully they do. It's something, got to kind of look up and stay on it. Good thing that you did this, because it doesn't get talked about enough. Like I said, look how many years in between since the last time I heard a story about it. So hopefully it gets talked about more, bring more light to it.
Well said, brother. Well said. And you guys have pretty much said it all. So I'm going to have my final words, because I'm big on this name, image, and likeness. It's all about, I don't want to say clickbait, but, views on your social media. There's another way to make money that we didn't have coming up. And so any way you can get a following could help you, generate income. And so outside of what they mentioned, the quality or free education, rubbing elbows with, future movers and shakers. I mentioned team building, but also you might only be earning $56,000 or $75,000 a year if you make it pro, but you would have a degree and you can potentially go work for a corporation or start your own business somewhere after college, and you won't be swamped with student loan bills. And then people would know who you are, and potentially you can get corporations to start buying ads and sponsoring you to do things on your Instagram page, where you're getting paid a lot more money than the $50,000 to $75,000 a year you might get playing your sport or working for your company. But I'm going to have Eric Cartman, wrap up my final words here today.
Of course you don't have desire to own slaves, son. Neither do I. And if there was any government agency listening in on this here conversation, they should know that we're not talking about slave ownership at all. All right, so now how do you get around not paying your slaves?
Get out. This is a prestigious university, and I am not saying one more word.
Prestigious.
You think you can do whatever you want because your corporation is a university? This country was founded on the ideals that one corporation couldn't hog all the slaves while the rest of us wallowed in poverty. Screw you, sir. I'm going home.
All right, so that's my final words. It's a self-perpetuating cycle here. Since we don't have many ex-lacrosse players, like we have several former basketball players and baseball players in our community, so they can venture off into coaching and showing the next generation the sport. It's going to take a time before we get that information, that data, where we can start, again, teaching our youth. So thanks for joining us on this journey through the fascinating world of lacrosse and its impact on melanated culture. We hope this show has shed light on the contributions of melanated athletes to the sport and the challenges we have faced along the way. We also hope that it's inspired you to learn more about the history of lacrosse and its roots. Kunta Kinte, Toby, what's your name, boy? And its roots in Native American culture. Finally, we encourage you to support efforts to make lacrosse more accessible and inclusive for melanated athletes. So next week on the Self Love Show, Ace, we are covering Juneteenth out there. Juneteenth.
All right.
You free, boy.
Hi.
I'm free. You free. You can leave the plantation. You know, we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna talk about Juneteenth out there. I think
All right.
yeah, we didn't talk about it last year.
Okay.
What you got in mind, man? You got any topics for next week there, fella?
I was looking into this this Clarissa Shields, female boxer, melanated boxer, but we gotta set up a time next week because I'll be down there with Jazzy in the
Oh, you're going
Mexico.
Oh, you're going way south of the Mason-Dixon line. Way south.
Yeah. So you know,
what's going on there?
Jazzy B-Day.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big 6-0, right?
Yeah. We're going to kick it with the Smiths.
And be careful down there in Mexico, boy. Mess around, come up missing.
No. Well, yeah. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
But I plan on being somewhere where I don't have to. I ain't venturing off too far. So
where you don't have to pistol whip anybody.
Yeah. I had to get down there and get me a quick 45 with my pesos, and I actually need a revolver. You know, you're down there in that heat. Get me a 38 special and be walking around enjoying my time, drinking tequila, and having a good time. And Mexico with my man Jazzy and Mrs. Jazzy.
Big ups, Jazzy. Enjoy your birthday, and yeah, man, y'all have a great time.
Find a time for next week, absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, yeah. Just let me know on that, and yeah, I'm definitely down with talking about that the current champion, because no one else is going to talk about it if we don't talk about it in boxing. So, definitely down for that.
She busting heads.
Busting domes out there.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up today's Monday edition of Mouthpiece Included. If you ever find yourself sliding through the Windy City, you might even be in South Central, Cali, Compton, Long Beach, Inglewood. Better be checking your 6. Better watch your blind spot. Better watch your back. Keep your dome on a swivel. Guide your grill.
Yeah.
Knuckle up. And don't forget to.
Don't forget it.
And don't forget to. And don't forget to bring your mouthpiece.
Don't forget it.
Yeah? Like that? What, boy?
All right.
What, boy?
Nonsense store.